Live.
Hello, everyone! Blue Star Saber here once again to discuss another My Hero Academia chapter review. And this time I am joined by Mangareader. Say hello, Mangareader.
Yeah, it's just me.
Yeah. It's only just recently that we discussed, last week really, we discussed 333 and the outcome of the, Shigaraki versus Stars and Stripes fight. And
Felt like Monday.
yeah, probably. What? Yeah, it probably was a Monday though. Probably not. No, not this.
It was last Thursday, or I
Yeah.
believe.
Yeah, that's in a week.
I'm just
really.
saying it felt like Monday when
Yeah.
we talked about it. No, it was last Friday.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it was that Friday. Yeah, but we had Lucky Chi with us. Unfortunately, he cannot join us today. But don't worry, people. For those who missed Lucky Chi, I've got something planned for him that will hopefully happen on Friday. But no spoilers for now. Anyway, so onto the actual chapter itself. We begin with like a sort of like, before we go, chapter 334. It's got like a covering page and the title of the chapter, Parting Gift, in which we see Stars and Stripes in her civilian form giving a sort of wink. But anyway, which I have to admit, it looks like a nice little chapter. Let's see, of like a sort of like, with a mix of that All Might, let's see, hairdo and her normal look. Let's see, there with that one bit of strap of hair and all that stuff. So, yeah. Sorry, that was someone messaging me on Facebook. I'll deal that next time.
Oops.
But yeah. Anyway, the chapter follows off what we have from last time, where, let's see, Stars and Stripes is fighter squadron is trying to shoot down Shigaraki and not let him get away and all that stuff. Let's see. Well, it's revealed that, let's see, Shigaraki was able to steal the wings of the Nomu he had, Quirk, so he could fly away and all that stuff. Let's see, to use as a getaway powers, which I have to admit, those wings must be really fast in order to escape fighter jets.
Or maybe he's using, but yeah.
Yeah, and some other quirks as well, probably. As he's desperately trying to find someone else that must receive new order from him and all that stuff. Before, he's reduced to nothing, as we see, like, the monstrous look of Stars and Stripes tearing up All for One from inside. As it appears that Shigaraki is hearing the thoughts of, like, Witsy, Stars and Stripes through a new order, by how she's saying, years ago, a Japanese student studying abroad saved me. I went for 8 tufts of hair. Let's see, and you get like a sort of silhouette of All Might in a sort of like menacing manner, I guess you could say, walking towards someone.
Menacing.
Sorry, what?
Menacing.
Yeah, with the words "once again," which is clearly, I think, Shigaraki just thinking that no matter what move he makes, let's see, All Might is there. He just cannot escape All Might's legacy.
Every time.
Makes you think what he's going to do if he ever meets All Might again face to face in his normal civilian look.
Well, he already knew what he looks like, so yeah.
Yeah, probably won't be pretty, but yeah. Anyway, there's more. Anyway, see, I think he seems to speed super fast as it blows the planes away, much to their annoyance. With, I think, one of the pilots, possibly Wedge, thinking about how she said, "I'll make sure you all return to your loved ones." With him commenting about how they are, at least her squad mates, particularly possibly the one called Wedge, and now they all look the same to me.
Yeah.
With him saying, let's see, with him believing that you've already surpassed All Might, and she has already been the greatest hero. Granted, I doubt many of the fandom would probably feel that way, given how quickly she was introduced and removed from the series, but heck.
Yeah, unless you want to consider her really absurd power to make things absurd, yeah.
Mm-hmm. But anyway, we go back to this random, I believe, port town or port city where we see two villains sort of like hanging out and all that stuff, wondering trying to look at something on TV and all that stuff. Let's see, given the fact that most of the TV commenting on how it seems like the crewmen must have already moved to like the shelters and all that stuff. With the two, with the villains just commenting, they still have like light and water and all that stuff. Let's see. And we reveal that one of the people that are in the room is someone called Kashiko Kashi, who is a convicted robber and murderer. So, if I had to guess, this seems to be either him and either his sister or lover, but I'm assuming sister just because of their similar hairstyles. I could be wrong. I could be wrong though.
We don't know. Yep.
But from what we can tell by his personality and from what his crimes, he doesn't seem to be that much of a pleasant fellow, really. As he ends up mocking like his fellow escaped convicts for causing trouble in cities rather than just, looking for like. Well, granted, he seems to be trying to look. Trying to look for a second chance at life, really, as he figures like, you know what. Let's try. He's going to try and lay low and try and live a normal life. So maybe that was a bit of a wrong assumption of me there, but he still seems to be a bit of a. He still seems to be a bit of a scumbag, but perhaps the one that's a bit more lazy and just wants to have a more laid back life now that he's out. However, as we know, Shigaraki has no intention of letting that happen, given how he crashes through their apartment they're hiding. With them both being shocked whether or not, who that is. Whether or not it's a hero or not, but no, one of them says not likely. With Shigaraki realizing there's two people there, he realizes he has a chance. As he realizes that Stars has signed a new rule to her quirk to prevent it from residing amongst other quirks, so So Shigaraki reaches out to the dude that we had just talked about, Kashiko Kashi, decides he'll steal his quirk first and then give him new order. Though before he can do that, apparently Stars and Stripes quirk, with Stars and Stripes inside her quirk, says to him, "Nice try, idiot." Going on about how New Order revolts against other quirks. Thanks to all these other quirks inside you, my little revolt was the death of me. With her commenting about how it was a real shame I couldn't kill you and finish the job, but here are some words of wisdom to remember. John Doe. As long as people stand up to save each other, someone will inherit that will of heroism, and make no mistake, they will strike you down. As it appears that the manifestation in Stars and Stripes is finally disappearing with only the skull left. And from what's in front of the manifestation of All for One inside. Inside Shigaraki. Sorry, I don't know why it took me so long to say that.
Shigaraki.
With All for One going give it a rest. The winners are saying that the ones who live longer, the ones that continue to live the longest are the ones that are the winners and all that stuff. So it tells the manifestation of Stars and Stripes to get lost as she's now dead. As the quirk disappears from inside of Shigaraki. But we end up seeing someone saying some hero as it reveals, and we see I believe a young Tomura saying Midoriya's name being clawed around with all these hands and all that stuff, giving us our second hint since probably the war arc of Tomura trying to cry out for Midoriya's help or something. Or just crying out for anyone's help.
Yeah.
Anyway, we cut to the next scene where we see the planes have landed and all that stuff, and as the narration goes about how the hunt for Shigaraki resumed immediately. and there was evidence of struggles, but the villain had, once again, let's see, left without a trace, leaving the authorities back to square one, as we see Endeavor, Best Genius, and Hawks. And from what we can see, at least with, let's see, Endeavor and Genius, they don't look happy, with, I think, let's see, Endeavor looking rather sad and Genius looking rather angry. And that's probably mostly due to they and the rest of the entire world, apparently, we would see learned that the number one American hero had died that day. And with the knowledge that you would see that the strongest here as the hero currently held as the strongest in America plus the world had fallen to the to the Shigaraki and all that stuff. The rest of the world nations have backed down trying to send heroes to Japan.
Mm-hmm.
With the Egyptian hero from the movie, I've forgotten his name, sorry.
Well, yeah.
Let's see, so, but yeah. I'm a bit too lazy to well, actually, maybe I can. Actually, maybe I will quickly search it up. Heroes, My Hero. Academia. Let's
Isn't it
see.
Salam? Isn't it Salam, or is that just what they're?
I think it's Salah. Salah. Let's see. Hold on. International
Salah?
Heroes. Yes, Salaram. Yeah.
Yeah. What it says
Salaram.
in Viz. So yeah, that's what it's saying in the Viz translation to Salam.
Yeah, but he's not happy about not being dispatched to Japan anymore. With I believe one of the people from his hero agency, or the ones that control the heroes, they're saying that don't look at it this way. We're asking you not to leave this nation unguarded and all that stuff.
Abandon our nation. Yeah.
Let's see. As the narration goes about how the loss of a hero could mean the downfall of a nation, it's decided there was a greater need for heroes to protect their own homes than save the people from some far-off foreign lands, so the dispatch operation was immediately put on hold. So, yeah. So, in other words, this is showing us that we're not getting any of those international heroes coming to Japan anytime soon.
No hero missions.
Yep. So it looks like Japan has to defend themselves once again, which is a bit of a shame to see. But anyway, we'll talk about more about that later. But one of the pilots ends up saying that, telling All Might and the Japanese police authorities there that Star's death wasn't in vain, as I believe he's informing them about the weakened quirk. But we see All Might thinking about how he wished he could have seen Cassie one last time. Let's see. But yeah. But apparently each of the X-66 data, let's see, the planes they piloted, then we finally got names for these planes, though that might have been from the first chapter they were introduced. But from what they wrote in on, the data from apparently each hold data from the battle.
Oh.
And apparently they're recording each biosignature and analyzing every quirk during the fight. Let's see, and they're hoping that this data will provide a lead on that stuff. Let's see. With someone talking with then the words about no way, you folks don't have people studying that monster, right? Oh wait, no, I think it's the pilot saying, no way, you folks don't have people studying that monster, right? As we cut to a central hospital, all that stuff, implying that this hospital we have people studying, trying to figure out ways to take down Shigaraki and All for One and all that stuff. But anyway, we go back to the narration goes to the next day. Let's see, and apparently 2 days after Midoriya returned to UA, as we're back with UA. As Bakugo shouts apparently about a deadline extension, with All Might saying yes, originally tomorrow was supposed to be the day Shigaraki would have been perfected his body, but now he'll be out of commission for a week at least. As a parting gift, Star and Stripe brought them this time and all that stuff. And they'll use this to advantage. As we see Midoriya and a couple of of the class 1A students in a mix of like their sort of like mix of like their hero costumes and let's see half dressed or casual looks from what I can tell as let's see we can see Uraka in her hero costume but also a t-shirt around it. I think Ida's got like this
Hmm.
half costume on. Tailman I don't think is wearing a shirt. I think Denki is like wearing a sleeveless shirt. Momomoa is just wearing only just like the suit part of her outfit, none of the cape and all that stuff, and her hair's down. And Jiro's just wearing, I think, just a plain old armless shirt. And Bakugo seems to be in half his winter gear and all that stuff. And while people like Anima and let's see, I've forgotten his name, but the one that has the octopus-like abilities got their hero costumes on.
And
And
Yujiro,
yeah,
you're you're
Jiro.
you're Yujiro. No, well, no, I mean Yujiro or
Yeah,
something is what his name.
yeah.
Yeah.
And we see that Midoriya has got, let's see, the lucky and got his like sports equipment on with his like hero gear in a similar manner to what he had to wear during like the League of Villains' first attack on let's see UA and all that stuff. The
Yep.
EJU arc was it? I think
Yeah. Yeah.
I've forgotten the pronunciation, but yeah. Which I suppose makes sense because his costume was all tattered and all that stuff, and they don't have a replacement.
No.
As the final panel of the chapter is a close up with Midoriya, Bakugo, and Shoto, with All Might saying how we'll take them down. We'll take down Shigaraki and All for one within this week's time. As that ends the chapter as heroes of Class 1A have a week to and the heroes of Japan have a week to prepare to probably take Shigaraki down. Ending the chapter.
Ending it well.
So, Margarita, what do you make of this chapter?
I mean, kind of more of an exposition chapter than anything really.
Yeah, it's clearly an aftermath chapter, really, for the most part. I mean, you got a little bit more of the action at the beginning, where Shigaraki is desperately trying to flee and all that stuff. It's like, need to find someone to give this quirk to. Need to find someone to give this quirk to before it kills me.
Yeah.
All that stuff. So, yeah, and we
Get me
also
out of here! Get me out of here!
yeah. I do like how the pilots, let's see, in their eyes, think that Stars and Stripes already had surpassed All Might and the greatest hero, given the and let's see, and Stu was a hero to the very end with her self-sacrifice and trying one last move to, take down Shigaraki with her in a sense.
I mean, they were always a team, so of course they were going to say that she's the greatest hero.
Yeah. It's a bit of a shame that we didn't get introduced to these characters, well, at least Stars and Stripes, sooner, so we could have probably seen a bit more of this kind of like Bond thing, or at least be hinted at much sooner.
I guess so, yeah.
I mean, granted, we do know that she was in the like first movie, but no one knew that at the time.
Yeah, of course not. I mean, of course not.
So yeah, let's see. I do like that. Okay, let's see. We learn that Shigaraki stole the wings from the Nomu before it got destroyed and all that stuff. So yeah, I do like how we do seem to see his constant frustrations about how All Might always seems to be there when he hears what Stars and Stripes words about All Might saving him. In some ways, I do feel like, let's see, with the second, saga, it felt like Shigaraki's, let's see, hatred against All Might seemed to have been a bit, absent, if you will. But then again, I guess he had other things to focus on at the time. And now,
yeah.
But it seems like now that more and more of the, I think he's learning more about the legacy of All Might, and perhaps even with his powers, he's getting like more and more, his hatred is reignited, if you will.
Well, yeah.
But then again,
I'm
if I
guessing the quirk transferred off.
yeah. Yeah, I guess we have to assume that what's the New Order did what's he go to that dude in the end? What's he Kishiko Kashi, who from what let's see, despite what I'm saying earlier, seems to be just one of those casual let's see, not very a deep from what the description of his crimes, not a decent person, but just some guy that wants to lay back and lay low and all that stuff.
Right.
Mocking other villains for like causing ritzy trouble in the big cities when and just crashing in someone's place while they're all evacuated, and seeming more complaining about there's no TV. But yeah, it appears to be with let's see this woman in some sort of like sports getup. I can from what I can tell. I still can't tell if this is like his sister or maybe lover.
Uh, yeah, we wouldn't. I don't know.
Let's see. I would just assume just due to the hairstyles being similar, probably siblings. But yeah, he's just some random dude that Shigaraki's giving like the quirk to and all that stuff. But yeah, let's see. I do like how battered and beaten we see Shigaraki look. Almost looks like his arm's about to come off or something.
Yeah. Bruised and broken, but not defeated.
But yeah. So anyway, I still don't know if he was able to. Well, I already talked about this, but yeah. But I do like how. But from what I can tell, given how Stars and Stripes disappeared, we're gonna have to from like inside Shigaraki. Yeah. I'm gonna assume that the quirk was removed and all that stuff.
Right.
Now, granted,
Well, I mean, well, otherwise it dissipated, but yeah.
But yeah. But yeah, it does make me wonder if this Kashiko Kashi would be able to use New Order. Because
He probably died.
it wouldn't be.
Well, who knows? Yeah.
But yeah, we do know that some quirks don't mesh well with the people they've been transferred to, and they cause like puppets like the Nomu.
Yeah.
Because not every quirk is compatible with a human body.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. I do like let's see her last speech towards like Shigaraki and All For One about how was the let's see about how she wasn't able to finish the job, but someone else will like take her place as long as someone stands for justice and then defeat them. Though All For One, as we know, believes that as long as one stays around the longest, they're the winners, regardless of who takes the place and all that stuff. As he believes that it's rather the individual lasting longest, rather than carrying on a legacy, if you will.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, for a villain.
Yeah. Because villains would rather I bet if most villains could, they'd probably live on forever. Really, I mean, you see it all the time in like other forms of fictional media. Voldemort wanted to be immortal, so did Palpatine in Star Wars.
Yeah, it seems like every villain wants to be immortal.
Yeah, while heroes rather just like pass on to the next generation what they've learned and all that stuff.
Of course. The villain always lasts forever, but the hero always has a new rise. New one rise up.
Yeah.
Take Transformers.
But interesting during this time we see Shigaraki calling out Midoriya's name, asking for some hero and all that stuff. It looked like
we don't know. We don't know if that's being for hero or if that's being like, oh, I'm gonna kill you, Midoriya. You're the one who's gonna be the pain in my butt.
But yeah, but it's like arms all over him, and you don't know if he's crying out for help or not, or because in many ways he was ritzy earlier, reaching out for like help and trying to get that no name that what's he small time crook really, I guess. Let's see, just answer the quirk, but here you don't know if like here he's crying out for Midoriya's help or not. So it's like I mean, Midoriya did think for a second that Shigaraki was crying out for some form of help. As like he doesn't want to be stuck in this situation anymore and all that stuff, given the fact that while New Order is out of his body, he's still got like All for One inside of him, manipulating and controlling him when the situation calls for it.
Yeah.
So who knows? It might lead. So I'm not know if this chapter might lead to that situation where we see Shigaraki's crying out for Midoriya to save him. So we might actually be going in that direction, though. We have to wait and see. Because personally, I don't think Shigaraki can live and live scot free after all he's done and all that stuff. But yeah,
I mean, I don't even know if it's that, but I think I don't know. It's now kind of fishy as to what could possibly be going down.
Fair enough. It does leave some open room and all that stuff to interpretation. Anyway, I do like how it's well. Granted, I say I was a little disappointed, but I suppose it shouldn't come to no surprise that, given the narration, that with the death of Stars and Stripes, this has put off other world countries of sending their heroes to assist Japan and all that stuff, because it's like it's the most powerful American hero and arguably the most powerful hero in the world. Since All Might retired, really, has been killed. What chance does our heroes have? So we're probably better off defending our own borders in a sort of every man for themselves kind of situation.
Yeah, that's the setup now, premises. But I guess they just wanted to keep it at Japan.
Yeah. I suppose this is to try and explain why, okay, let's see, after so many people wondering, well, the world heroes, well, why aren't all the rest of the world heroes coming to help stop this evils in Japan? But as this, I suppose this arc, let's see, and maybe slightly the arc before it has started to go a bit more about the international politics of why world countries are reluctant to send their heroes because of part of All for One's own meddling with the allies abroad, causing mayhem.
I suppose it's more just the setup, so that there's no other reason other than the Class 1A to be participating.
Yeah. We know why that is the main reason, of course. But yeah, but in universe, let's see, All for One having his allies in the world causing trouble, but also let's see other nations reluctant to losing the risk of their strongest heroes, because as we've seen with technically with Japan, with a hero, if a society loses their strongest hero, it can have long-term consequences if it's not replaced. And when All Might was forced to retire, crime sort of increased until it led to the chaos which now Japan currently faces.
Yeah.
So yeah. So at the very least, the global war with I suppose you could say between villains and heroes has been put on hold, at least before or at least All for One is planning to make more of his move on Japan before doing that conflict and all that stuff. But yeah. Well, granted, from what we've seen of Samlin, let's see, some of these heroes are not happy about this situation. But yeah.
They're running low on reserves right now in Japan since everyone's retiring.
Yeah, with heroes in the home turf, retiring, and heroes internationally not being forced not to come by their own countries. The stakes and the risks for the heroes has never been higher. When All for One makes the next move, but as the pilots telling All Might, which I do like how once again I do like how he wishes he could have seen Cassie, because through flashbacks we've been established that All Might became a bit close to her after saving her a bit.
Right.
let's see, but yeah, but due to the fight, they were able to record the data of like all the quirks, which might help with their own research. Not to mention, it seems like a few of the quirks were destroyed against when New Order went inside Shigaraki, so he's severely weakened, and we end up learning from like during All Might's talk with Class 1A that Shigaraki will need at least a week of time to prepare, which I assume that's going to be the case because why else would you bring this up? So, so yeah, in a week's time, Shigaraki will not have will then get a perfected body and all that stuff. So it's given like the members of Class 1A at least a week to prepare and train and all that stuff.
Hooray.
So yeah. So we have all that, and let's see. So we have all that. Anyway, yep. I do also like that we kind of got a confirmation of like it seems what Midoriya is currently wearing now that his like hero getup is such battered and tattered and all that stuff. So it's just like the standard what he wore during like.
Well, yeah, we said that before. It was when during the training when they got attacked.
Yeah. I do like that, so I'm repeating myself now. So yeah.
Of course. Yeah, that's because there wasn't really much that this chapter offered. I'm going to be honest with you.
Yeah, it's just one of the rather quick chapters compared to last Ritzy time.
Well, yeah, the last ones gave more to discuss. This one's kind of like, I mean, we've already discussed more on top of that.
So yeah. So before we get this wrapped up and all that stuff, I probably just want to get into some of the Ritzy quick questions, since apparently we now have like 1 week to prepare for Shigaraki. Mm-hmm. Do you think that that means the next arc will be? I assume that this Stars and Stripes, if it's its own little mini arc, which I assume it probably is.
Yeah, there's always these mini ones in between.
Yeah. Would you say the next Ritzy arc is gonna this 1 week from like Shigaraki's return? You think this is gonna be a sort of like UA training arc we're gonna have before, or do you think we're just gonna skip to the week and then face Shigaraki?
I don't know. It depends really how fast he's trying to rush this out.
Yeah, because
I guess it could be kind of a mix. They could do like a couple of things and then flash back to whatever they didn't showcase.
Yeah,
but it sounds like they're trying to beat him before the week ends.
So yeah, it's very curious to see, because from the way this 1 week thing implies, it might mean that for this final act saga, if you will, we might just be heading towards possibly the final battle arc with Shigaraki, if you will.
Yeah, I think I mentioned it the last time. I'm interested to see if what they were talking about was. Well, I'm interested to see if this was so Deku never has to really reach 100%, or if this means that he's going to somehow reach 100% quickly.
So yeah, it could be possible that for this, it could be possible that before we get like the final arc kind of thing, we might just have this little arc where Midoriya tries to get to 100% within less than a week.
It'd be hard to imagine, but I guess it could happen.
Yeah. Not to mention, there is that sort of like UA band, Class 1A band playing something for like the Stritzy people here, though granted, with the recent developments, I'm not sure if they'll have enough time, but I guess we'll have to wait and see.
Always good to know.
Yeah. I mean, granted, I do think Koei wants to do something with that, because otherwise, why bring it up in the first place? So, yeah.
Yeah, it's something to think about.
So, yeah. So, if I had to guess for myself, I think we're going to have some maybe training arc and maybe one last bit of slice and life in it and all that stuff. But just so Midoriya can, Midoriya and everyone can have a catch up inside UA before heading towards what I think is likely to be like the final arc of the series, which will probably be like the next final battle, war, or whatever you want to call it. But yeah.
Yeah, it'll be something.
Yeah. which of course, let's see. Usually, final arcs tend to be pretty long, so yeah, it could be that. After all, now granted, I definitely think that this saga is clearly going to be shorter than the Rise of the Villain saga, but let's see. But for all we know, the final arc might also be a very mega long arc as well. So there's still like a lot of things to address.
Right.
But we just have to wait and see how Koei wants to handle it all. Overall, I think I'll give this chapter a sort of 7.5 to 8 out of 10. I mean, nothing too major happened. It's just Shigaraki escaping from trying to find someone to give new order to, and then a little update of how the rest of the world reacts after Stars and Stripes fight, and an update of how long Shigaraki will recover, giving UA class time to prepare for the final fight against him and all that stuff. But there was some interesting hints about Shigaraki calling out Midoriya's name, possibly for a cry of help or not. But yeah, I don't know. Would you agree with that score, or do you have your own score?
I mean, the only score that I would switch is maybe, I don't know, it's like a 6 or 7 to me.
Fair enough.
Again, exposition really doesn't mean much, so I'm assuming something big happens after this. Even though we just had something big happen, but
yeah,
it just seems, I don't know. It's been a while since we've had like a really kind of, I don't want to say garbage chapter, but it wasn't really anything great. So it's been a while since we've had one of these types of chapters.
fair enough. But yeah, nothing that was like, oh my god, I'm so hyped for My Hero. It's just like, okay, My Hero's out this week.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I mean, I guess it's good to know that we figured out how Shigaraki intended to get away. Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, there was. It's just weird that it's only a week, but yeah, they needed something to at least extend the deadline again.
But yeah, let's see. Granted, with the deadline, with the way they'd set it up, it makes me think that, okay, we're going to only have like 1 or maybe 2 more arcs left of My Hero Academia. If it was a much longer, like a few months or something, I'd say, okay, we're probably going to get a few more arcs. But now I think we're getting close. We're getting close to the final arc now. But yeah.
Yeah. The only thing I could see happening before Shigaraki would be covering up loose ends for the other villains.
That is true. So we have to wait and see on that end. But I suppose we've reached the point of everything we have to talk about. Overall, I definitely think that this mini arc with Stars and Stripes is probably now over. So we're probably going to have a podcast with Lucky Chi soon. Unless Lucky Chi wants to do Lucky Chi wants to wait and see and all that stuff. But who knows?
Yeah. She's a guy who you never know.
But yeah, so I guess let's see. I guess for next week, I'll probably find out when he's available to do like the chapter that's coming out this week's review. Though you're more than welcome to join me for that one as well, Mangareader. I just have to find a time.
We'll see. Yeah.
I just have to see if you both have time to go on at the same time. But yeah, overall,
yeah, I don't know.
I'm Blue Star Saber.
I'm Mangareader. I was about to say Lucky Chi.
And on that, it's the awkward joke. We are signing off. Plus Ultra, everyone.
Plus Ultra, guys.
Margarita.